Belief by government and the belief by the UN, the belief by the African Union is that it's important to have children participate in shaping their future. And therefore, they should have a forum. They should have a position where they can pass on their views. What do they think about things that normally times we answer on their behalf? So the child reference group is going to be that parliament in a way of the children. It's going to be a center of focus, a center where we refer to. Because you see, we cannot say adequately that the young people, like the youth, like the women, are represented in parliament. So they are not represented in parliament. But how do we tap the views of the children on any policy that we want to pass? That reference group will be doing a lot of job. Everything that we think has a connection or affects the children, and almost everything that we do affects children, that will be our reference group. Once we have consulted with that reference group, especially when resources cannot allow to go everywhere, that will be adequate. Because to us, that's representative enough, and they can give us the voices of the children. So we shall, in all our consultations, in policy formulation, in coming up with laws, in coming up with programs, we shall always be having space for them. Individually as young people, but also sometimes participating with the bigger people. But that sometimes their voices are suffocated. So you'd rather have them consulted in their own group, and they are free to air out what they feel about what we are doing. The UN Convention on the Rights of Children, Article 12, talks about being heard, that children should be heard. And so that will be the platform through which the children can be heard, and where their voices can be taken to matter. It's one thing to be heard, it's another for what you say to be taken to matter. So that's the reference group. And I want to say with a lot of certainty that come International Day of the Girl Child, 11th October, we are launching that children reference group. And we know for sure that the children are vulnerable, but children with disabilities is a double jeopardy. And so for everything we do, for every program we have, for every intervention we have, where we have the children reference group, the people with disabilities, the girls with disabilities, they must be part and parcel of this group, always. It will not make sense for us to consult a few girls who are able and leave out the girls that are disabled. We're also not in position to only consult the urban children and not consult the rural children. We want, category of kind. We don't believe that the children in Uganda are homogeneous, they are heterogeneous. So if you are to tap the different perspectives of the children, then the girls with disability must be a center of focus as we talk to the girls without disabilities. That's the way to go. And we are talking about leaving nobody behind. We cannot afford, because every voice for us matters. The voice of the young children, they matter. They have their own perspective, and we believe they are not a blank page on which we need to write.
Well, first and foremost, I would really like to appreciate the efforts by the Girl Up Initiative and their project termed She Leads. Really, this is the Uganda for, and this is the Uganda that many of us would proudly associate with such projects, because over time, historically, girls have been abandoned. It's now that girls are fighting for their space. That even when they are receiving mentorship, the kind of mentorship that they are receiving is to specifically keep them maybe below their male counterparts. So I am happy with the efforts of the Girl initiative in mentoring girls of the 21st century. Now at KCCA, KCCA is an institution that has policies and laws that govern it. KCCA is governed by what we call the Kampala Capital City Authority Act. And by and large, we work through committees. So we have 10 committees, but specifically we have a committee of gender production and community services. That is where issues of empowering the girl child, issues of empowering youths, issues of empowering women all fall under the gender committee. Now that gender committee is also spearheaded by a minister, with someone we call a minister, or you can call him or her an executive secretary at KCCA, who is appointed by the Lord Mayor. And at KCCA, that docket is spearheaded by none other than Nyanjura Doreen, that is currently talking to you. I think because many know that I am passionate about issues to do with the girl child. So usually reports come from the executive, where I sit together with other cabinet members. We are 4, and it is spearheaded by the Lord Mayor. Then whatever we discuss in that committee goes to council for deliberation. So usually when we find issues need more investigations, they are then taken to the standing committee of gender, which is composed of 10 people. So those are the processes of council. So the presentations in council are usually made either by the executive secretary, who is myself, or they are made by the chairperson of the gender standing committee. Now, just like parliament works, if there are any issues that maybe are affecting the girl child, we are public servants and we are elected leaders. We are here to serve the people. The community can come and engage with us. Now, if there's a committee of the girl child, it can come and engage with the cabinet that is spearheaded by the Lord Mayor, because usually we get many people. We believe in consultative leadership. We have held a number of engagements with so many of the stakeholders in Kampala, and that does not exclude the girl child. So they come and tell us their issues, what is affecting them, where they think they need to improve. So that platform is readily available for them. But even they can interface with the Standing Committee of Gender, and they tell them their issues. And under normal circumstances, where we really feel it is very necessary that they have to come and make their presentations in council, and maybe for attending council sessions, it is open, so you can come and sit in the gallery and maybe see the committee or the executive secretary making a presentation on your behalf on the issues that you talked about. So there's a public gallery that can be accessed to them. But under normal circumstances, where they feel that they need to come and make a presentation in council, that we can communicate to the speaker who presides over council sittings. We are lucky that our speaker is a female. She's also a champion of the girl child. So we shouldn't really have any problem with seeing our girls that have been mentored by the Girl Up initiative to come and and show us what they have been doing. That is something that we can work on, because we also believe in hands-on leadership. We want to see, yes, we are talking about mentoring, we are talking about the girl child. Can they come and show us that they are also capable of addressing a council sitting and they are not going to start quaking or shaking? So we shall proudly welcome them.
So my name is Moses Mtumba, the Executive Director of Mukobad. Mukobad is a multi-community based development initiative, a local agency that works to improve livelihood of people, but also health and water and sanitation and rights and accountability for people who are marginalized and vulnerable. We have been working with many partners over time, but specifically for girls and young women who have worked with the Ladies' Homes under a big program we call She Leads. The She Leads is a program that is funded by the Embassy of Netherlands, and it is a 5-year program that is aimed at empowering young women and girls to advocate for their rights, but also enable them to meaningfully participate in policy, planning, and formulation of regulations that govern the country, but also plans that enhance their livelihood and education and health. As an organization, we have specifically been implementing in the Giri district, and we have worked with 4 sub-counties. In our approach to work, we have addressed all the culture-related barriers to girls' participation in development processes, but also ensuring that the platforms at sub-county level and district level that enable the participation of girls and young women to have input in the development processes. We realized that our culture and tradition is set up in a way that girls are not respected in community, and almost eliminated in most cases from public forum when plans and policies are formulated. What we have done is build agency for girl-led CSOs or movements, and this enables girls to front their ideas. We open windows and doors for them at sub-county level, at district level, but also at national level, to make sure that they have input in the planning and policy formulation processes. We have worked with many other CSOs in the district, close to around 10 CSOs, and what we're aiming to do is to build a coalition of CSOs that support the girl-led initiatives, but also the participation of girls in policy formulation processes. This we have done for close to 2 years, and the plan is to do this for the next 5 years. At the end of the 5 years, we think girls will have achieved a lot in terms of having themselves involved at policy, at plan formulation from sub-county to district and national level. Our efforts have yielded a lot, especially knowing where we have come from in the last 2 years with the challenges of COVID and all the effects that came with COVID. Teenage pregnancy. We have many girls who have dropped out of school, and most of them, when they get pregnant, their parents abandon them. So part of the advocacy that we have done for the last 2 years is to see that girls who get pregnant produce and go back to school. And we have done a lot of work also in ensuring that girls who get pregnant access ANC services, antenatal services, and have births that are safe. And after that, we develop care plans with their caregivers, so they are able to go back to school and pursue their careers. We have earmarked girl-led leaders in sub-counties, but also at at district level, and we have built their capacity in advocacy. Some of them have engaged at national level, but others also at international level. And we think this is a movement that we should continue to build and make sure that girls continue to advocate for their rights and achieve the goals of development that are set for girls. Thank you.